So good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's very exciting session. Glad that you could make it. Today we are having a very special time with our president's team member. And I realized many of you probably have heard of him, but may not have known he's actually our president's team member. And you haven't had a chance to meet him. So I thought it would be good for you to just get to hear how does one become a president's team member? What does it take? And just learn a few tips on how you can be able to do this business and succeed in it and even get to president's team and beyond. So for those who don't know me, my name is Fred Gishuki. Fred joined this business, I think it was October of 1996. And I was sponsored by HANSIE CRONJE, the gentleman who is going to talk to us today. He found me working at the reception of a hotel. And I don't even know why he decided to talk to me, because I was a young man, I was in my 20s, I was broke. I didn't look like somebody who could succeed in any kind of business. But he saw what I could become rather than what I was. And that's why he talked to me. And I always think about it and say, there are many people that we prejudge. We say this one may not be able to do it. But probably you are turning away somebody who could become successful. So today, it's not about me. It's about getting to know our PT, learning from him, and just getting to hear his story and a few tips of how we can also be able to grow and develop in our business. So without further ado, I want to welcome HANSIE CRONJE. So HANSIE, you can take it away.
Well, good evening, Fred, and thank you for the kind introduction. If I think back, I still remember, that very time when we met in the Methodist guest house in Kenya, Nairobi. And you had a blazer on and a tie, and you look very smart and sharp. So that's why I thought I must talk to this young man. And you are actually the first guy that I personally sponsored in East Africa. So you and I have a history together, and that is very exciting. And to see that you are building a wonderful team, and all the wonderful people that are here on the call tonight, I'm probably most of them I haven't even met before, but it is a tremendous privilege to share with you here from Cape Town in South Africa. That is where we're currently staying. My wife, and especially my one son, and my daughters also stay down here in Cape Town. We're all in the same vicinity. So that is really an amazing place to be. So I was asked by Fred to share first a little bit of my story, how things got started and how we went along with the business. And then after that, I'm going to share some specific success tips with you after I've done with the story. But while I'm going to tell the story, you will also pick up a few things that we struggled with that we had to overcome. So thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. So when we were introduced to Neolife the very first time, I was a full-time pastor in the ministry in East London in South Africa. And I was enjoying tremendously what I was doing, but our biggest challenge was financially. We actually could not pay all the bills. And that became a tremendous burden in our lives, because when you struggle financially, you struggle to think straight. That is what I find. And my wife was a full-time mother at that stage. She's an ex-social worker. And she was actually now raising the babies. Our firstborn was born cerebral palsy, and we had tremendous challenges with him. And then two beautiful daughters was also born for us. So she was very much a full-time mom. And we tried to do this business taking hands. I also had a lot of debt in the bank. I remember the bank manager calling me all the time, trying to convince me that I have to pay off my debt as soon as I can. And And I said to him, I'm working on it. So I didn't want to lie, but I was really praying hard for a way out of this. We were so broke when we started that we didn't have money to buy the kit. So I borrowed the money to buy the business kit to get started. So if there's anybody out there who say, well, I haven't got the money, you know, my advice to you is go and find a way, sell something that's in your way, sell your TV or whatever it is, but start building on your future and start building on your dreams. So we had to borrow the money, and that was one of the best loans I ever made in my life. And then we suffered also a lot of stress, you know, and it showed in my health because every winter time I was struck down with bronchitis on its way to pneumonia. So it was really, really tough. And if I think back why we started 35 years ago, I think the biggest reason that stands out from it all is that we were totally sick and tired of struggling financially. So our biggest reason why we got started is to make extra money on a part-time basis and to start paying off our debts and get the bank manager off our back. But when we look at the business, I had a few other challenges also to overcome. And I'm going to share this with you because sometimes people give you the reasons why they think they cannot do the business or don't want to start the business. But I had a few things that I had to overcome when we made a strong decision to do this business. The first thing is I had an ego challenge. You see, I studied at the University of Stellenbosch for 7 years. So I had degrees behind my name and, you know, that feeling of sort of importance, have a few chips on my shoulders. But let me tell you, every time I look at my bank balance and I look at my rusted car, I realize that I don't have much to have an ego about. This rusted car was really, really interesting. It was a Volkswagen Golf, full of rust, old Volkswagen Golf. It sort of dropped me many, many times and it didn't want to start. And one day when I want to open the one back door of the car, the door fell off completely of the car. So it was a beige Golf full of rust. And you can just imagine I found a door in the scrapyard, a blue door. So imagine this rusted Volkswagen Golf, beige, with a blue door. And that is where we were. And I realized I must be open to learn from people who have been successful financially. I also struggled in the beginning with a negative attitude to make final decisions to take the business serious. And, you know, it was what I call always the blame game. Blame everybody, okay? Blame the government, blame people around me, blame the high taxes and the high fuel prices and everything. And that's why I don't have money. But I realized I have to take responsibility for my future. I cannot wait for anybody to do it. So I had to overcome that challenge. I also had the challenge of time constraints. You know, when people start in this business, even on a part-time basis, all 24 hours is already taken up. And where do you find the time? So I had to sit down as a pastor who enjoyed what I was doing and look at my priorities. And I said, if I want to make a difference in my future, if I want to really make an impact in the future of my family and get financially better off, I have to make a few choices. So I look at a few community projects that I was involved in, and you know, there's many of them, and you work for free. And then I said to a few of them, listen, I cannot be there anymore for you. And they said to me, hey, we need you. But you know, within a day or two, I was totally replaced. So I realized how easily you are replaced out there. And that gave me some time. And I could find an extra 5 to 10 hours per week to start investing in our future. And that is all that I needed. And I realized it's a long-term business opportunity. It's not a fly-by-night scheme. It's a serious business. If you treat it like a business, it will reward you like a business. So I started to think long term and said, in the next 2 to 5 years, I'm going to work this business every week, 5 to 10 hours a week, and I'm going to do it seriously for the next 2 to 5 years. And you know, it was interesting because when we started, we didn't have any capital. I had to overcome that challenge also. You remember, I was deeply in trouble with a bank. I didn't have any money. So what did I do? We started to develop a customer base, and I said to the customers, listen, please, you must pay a good deposit, about 70%, so that I can get the product. And then I use the money of the customer to go and buy the product at the DC so that I can service the customer. Then they paid me the rest and I could make my profit. So there's always a way to do it. And then we decided on a financial way to go forward in that regard to build up some capital. So every time we make profit on a customer, and as the business grow and we start developing the business, we also, what I did, I take 70% of the income and reinvest it in my business to build up capital. And then 10% I give away to a good cause, 10% I saved, and 10% I spoiled myself. I remember our first bonus check was so small, when I took the 10% to spoil myself, I could buy myself ice cream, and that's how far we get. But it was a good reward because I realized if I can buy an ice cream, bigger things can happen. And then we had to overcome the thing that many people make excuses not attending events. I said to myself, I don't have money to attend events or to go to a place and pay the registration fee and even organize overnight accommodation. You know, I was in that attitude of a salary mentality. I was waiting for somebody else to pay the stuff, but I realized I had to take responsibility for my own business. And I remember we made a decision very early in our career in the business when we went to a place close to East London. It was about 1.5 hours drive. There was a weekend function, and it was tough because I had to sell products to get money to put fuel in the tank and to pay for the accommodation and the food for that weekend. But that was one of the best investments we ever made, because we realized there we decided to take this business serious. And we learned the lesson that the event that is the most difficult to attend is the one where you will make the most important decisions about your future. And what is so amazing, our health started to improve along the way. That's a challenge we overcame through these amazing products. And today I'm so healthy. Thank God for it. And, you know, no bronchitis anymore, no on the brink of pneumonia anymore, and we're healthy. So we developed this very strong dream that we want to get out of debt. Good, to be good, G-O-O-D, to get out of debt. And that was one of the best decisions we ever made. And let me tell you tonight, you know, sometimes we think, well, it's kind of a price to pay and so on. But if I think people on the call with small children, how many times we had babysitters so that my wife and I could work the business together and go to events together. But we always made a plan. She had a book, a whole book full of names of babysitters to make sure that we have. And you have to pay the babysitters. But that's the investments that you make to build a business, handle it as a business, and it will reward you as a business. But you know, folks, Neolife will get you there. It will get you there. It's not just vain words that you hear, empty words, when you look at the marketing plan, when you listen to what people say, and so on. And let me share a few things that was so exciting along the way of dreams that we have achieved through this incredible business, because we believed, we wrote down our dreams, we really believe that we can achieve it, and we worked consistently every week for 2 to 5 years. One of the amazing things is, in about 2 years' time, I was very close of getting exactly the same income out of the business that I was earning as a pastor. Now, that was really, really encouraging, really encouraging. So we realized if we put in more time, work harder, we can make more. And I remember what was an amazing experience is when I bought my first new car. Fred, you must just mute maybe Jane Mukami. Just mute her, please. You can just mute yourself, Jane. Thank you. And when I got my first brand new car, bought a brand new Mercedes-Benz Elegance 220. And I remember when I climbed into that car after the deal was made, and I drove it from the floor where the Mercedes was standing there in a showroom, the tank full of petrol. And when I sit in the car, I smell that leather seats and all this new things surrounding me. And when I look at the bonnet, I look through that star of the Mercedes, and I felt like a millionaire. And when I did that, I was thinking of all the people who said to me, this will never work. Forget about it. I'm not getting even involved with you. What a big difference it has made for us. And what an experience to have. I remember when we went to our first World Convention as World Team members, and it was in the United States of America in Disney World. And, you know, we felt like children again, my wife and I, and there a lot of our dreams were ignited like you've never seen before. And we came back with big dreams. And one of the dreams that we had is to introduce our children personally to Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And a few years after that, we took them to France, in Disneyland in France, where they actually also could be at the Disney World there. And that was so amazing. And after that, we hired a car. We drove in Normandy, there in France, and went stay on the coast and so on. And what an amazing experience. I remember I was feeling very silly because when we got to that big Arc de Triomphe in Paris, I was thinking, what's happening? What's wrong with the cars? They all go in the wrong direction. But because in France, they drive on the right side of the road. So luckily, one of the officers there came to me and he directed me around the Arc of Triomphe, and off we went to Normandy to have a lot of fun with the kids. And it was also amazing when we moved down to Cape Town from Gauteng in Pretoria to buy a house here on the West Coast. And what an experience just to go down to the beach and then watch all the wonderful sea background and see all the ships there lying in the harbor and look at Table Mountain that you see on the photos. What an amazing panoramic place to stay. After that, we attended so many world conventions. You know, I remember we didn't even have a passport when we started the business because we believed that we'll never ever travel the world. But through this business opportunity, we attended about 50 destinations all over the world, United States, Europe, Africa, Australia, all over, you know, and it is so, so amazing. And also what is very exciting to me today, that I am a freelance pastor. I'm living the dream, because one of my biggest dreams when we started was to get at the stage that the business will finance my ministry and I can be a freelance pastor and do ministry for free. And I'm enjoying myself. I do ministry for free consistently. I build the business. We're very, very busy. Our business have developed in about 11 countries all over the world. And we have the most amazing leaders and the most amazing people in our business that we call our friends. So this is really, really incredible. And let me tell you, I just want to say that Today we are President's team members living the dream. Many times I have to pinch myself and say, listen, is this really me? So excited to realize that it can happen to anybody. And and if it can happen for us, it can happen for you. And I just want to give the honor and the glory to my Lord Jesus Christ, because he is the CEO of our business. I consult with him every day. I ask his advice, his wisdom, how to go about the business and to go forward. And that is really an amazing inspiration to me personally. And folks, there's so much potential in East Africa, all over the world. Nowadays, we can spread our wings through Zoom and through connections in social media all over the world. You can build business in more than 50 countries. That is absolutely incredible. This is what this business can do for people. So I just want to encourage you here tonight. You've heard of all the dreams we have realized. This is not even all of it. This is just a little part of our story. But the most amazing thing is that you can believe tonight that this business is really working. It's working for people who are believing that it can work for them and are willing to pay the price. It's a simple business, but it's not the easy business because you work with people. But if you really think of people as your friends and you build relationships with them, positive relationships, that will be the cement that hold your business together. There is just the most amazing future, and you can, with your friends, go and visit the most amazing venues in the world. Before I go forth and talk a little bit about a few business success tips I want to share with you that I think is very important on building your business on the way to President's team member, I just want to show you that we are very serious now at this point in our life to really get the next generation involved. And what I mean by this specifically is my two daughters with their husbands, to get them involved as a second generation so that they can learn really what we do. And when Lydia and I cannot do the business anymore, they can have the amazing benefit to reap all the benefits of the business that has built through these years. And that's one of the wonderful things about Neolife, that it's willable to your children. So we're already getting a little bit more involved and exposing them to what's happening and so on. And they get all excited. So I took the liberty, Fred, of inviting my one daughter just in a few minutes to say a few words, just why she's getting involved and why she's excited about the future. So I want to ask my one daughter, Madelise Anderson, she's here on the call, just to share with you a little bit about herself and how she sees her own involvement. Welcome, Madelise.
Hi, good evening. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's great to be on this call tonight and to see everyone on this call. And Fred, it's nice to see you. So my name is Madelise Anderson, and I live in Cape Town with my husband in South Africa. And I'm a second generation Neolife. I'm HANSIE's youngest daughter. And I'm also a sugar artist part-time and a housewife. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story, and you would think with HANSIE's amazing story that all his kids would immediately get involved the moment that they were 18. But as a teenager, you want to experience life like all your other friends are doing. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how I got to the point where I am today. So I went to go study at CPUT University for 3 years. I got my diploma, and then I wanted to go work. I got a few jobs. I worked for a few companies, for a boss. And then I got married about 6 years ago. And I got a job as a receptionist at this one mall that I was working. And a few months after we got married, I got retrenched. Jane, would you mind please putting yourself on mute if you don't mind? Thank you. So I got retrenched from my job as a receptionist, which suddenly we now had to live on one salary, which my husband wasn't earning a lot back then. And it was very tough for us. I had to suddenly do a few odd jobs to get in some extra money. I had to do pet sitting, and I had to go look after people's children, do au pairing and little odd jobs like that, which made things a bit difficult. And it really made me think. It made me decide to take this Neolife opportunity seriously, that I've known my whole life, that I've lived with, that the only thing I've known my parents do since before I was born. So I grew up with it. I grew up with the products, with opportunity. We went with my parents to so many events as kids. But I wanted to experience a normal work life like everyone else. But when I got retrenched, I realized jobs are so insecure today. In South Africa specifically as well, if the jobs are very insecure, you never know when they're going to let you go. So I decided to take the Neolife opportunity seriously and decided that I'm never going to work for a boss again. And it is the best decision that I ever made. I am just so excited about this opportunity because it is helping to create a brighter future for me and my husband, and to build up a legacy for my children one day, just as my dad did for us. And have the lifestyle that we are dreaming of. And focus more on our health. We are still using the supplements every day. And I only use the golden Neolife products in my home now. And we love it. I don't trust anything else in my home. So because of Neolife, we traveled a lot. I've traveled with my dad so many places the past few years, more than I've ever traveled in my life. And the lifestyle and experiences that I've had, it's just amazing. I have no words for it. It's an amazing experience. And it also helps you to grow in the business and make you realize how many opportunities and benefits and great things is waiting for you out there. So our most recent trip that we did was to a convention in Johannesburg. Was it HANSIE? Was it Johannesburg? Yes. And we had the president's team members always get some special treatment. So when you become a president's team member, they always take you for a special dinner, or you stay in the more luxurious rooms, or you get spoiled, you get pampered, and they really treat you as VIPs, which is really something to experience. And I hope all of you can experience that one day when you become a president's team member, because it's so exciting. So because of Neolife, also me and my husband could buy a house. So a year ago, just because of the little bit of extra income that I bring in with Neolife, we were able to get a full bond to get a house in an area that we love. So So we are very happy that we could do that, thanks to Neolife. And now I can be a better wife to my husband. I can one day be a stay-at-home mom and still make money at the same time, and my stress levels have dropped so much since I don't work for boss anymore and I just work for myself. It is just amazing. Now I have hope for the future and experience, like I've mentioned before, so much traveling and lifestyle, and also personal and financial growth. So Neolife has really, really changed our life, and I'm very, very grateful and thankful for my parents that they started the business, that we can also experience and the benefits of this business and how great this business is. So Fred, if you don't mind, I would love to share just a few photos with you of our last trip that we had at the convention. If I can just share my screen.
Yes, okay, fine, that's okay. Let me just look for you here.
Okay, so I'm gonna...
Just a minute, 1 minute. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead now.
Okay, I can share now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, can you see my screen?
It's coming on. There you are. It's good now. Can see it.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay,
Yes,
great.
you can.
Okay, so this photo is the legacy. So there's my mom and my dad and my sister, me, my husband, and my sister's husband. And so you can see the photo was taken at my parents' lovely home in Bloberg. And so that's the legacy that we have, that my parents passed on to us. This photo I wanted to share with you all because this was a very special moment for us. This was at the president's team meeting when we went to the convention last year. And these are some of the other two young people who is also the second generation in their parents' business. And it was a very special day for us to see that there is also other young people that's taking over their parents' business and getting involved. So I thought I'd share that one with you. Then this was at the consistency dinner. It was a beautiful hotel that they put us in. We had an amazing meal with amazing food, and this was the entertainment that they did for us. There was also fire dances. It was really a very nice experience. You really felt like a VIP there. This was the car that they transported us in from the one hotel to the convention, and the suppers and so on. It's a Jaguar, an electric Jaguar. Very luxurious. And this was the front of the hotel. It's me and my sister over there. And this was also at the consistency dinner. Food was really, really amazing. They really treated us really well. And here we had the PTs were sent on a special dinner. And here we're sitting by the table, me and my dad, with Charlie and Alta Bolton. the 5 Diamond Directors. And it was a lovely evening. So that's just a few of the photos that I wanted to share with you. I would love in the future to share many more with you. But that, yeah, I just wanted to show you that there's so much experiences you can have in the future, and there's so many nice things you can experience and feel like a VIP one day. And so that is it from me. Thank you so much, Fred. Thank you, HANSIE.
Thank you, Marlies,
thank you
for
so
sharing
much.
with us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
It's just wonderful to hear the second generation, how they get excited about the possibilities of this business. So to end off, Fred, I just want to then give a few pointers that I think is important on the way to PTM, and things that you probably heard before, but I'm just going to put an emphasis on it, very short and sweet. And the first very important one is always define your dreams. Make sure you put down the dreams that really stirs your blood, the dreams that's important to you. If you do that, things will happen for you. You will get places, and you must believe in your dreams. You must put up pictures of your dreams. So this is very, very important, to define your dreams and keep doing it consistently. Revisit your dreams all the time. And when any downline come and they're not motivated and they start making excuses about their business, ask them, what are your dreams? What is the dreams that got you going? Always go back to the dream. All the way to PTM. I'm still revisiting my dreams up till today and redefining my dreams. The second important pointer is the power of personal growth. You know, I cannot overemphasize the power of personal growth. And when I talk about personal growth, I talk about having a self-talk and then doing it every day, and then also reading good books and associate with good people. You know, you must do it for the rest of your life, because that will help you to expand your mind, to stay focused, to stay self-motivated. And I've done it from very early in the business. I'm still doing it today. Every morning I read my self-talk. Every day I read good books. I keep on doing it and I apply what I read. So that is one of the things that will help you to grow on your way to PT and stay motivated. The third important thing is always guard your attitude. Folks, there's a world out there that want to steal your attitude, make you negative all the time. Many things happen, and many things will happen in the future. But you know, to keep a positive attitude is one of the most important things that will pull you through, because your attitude will determine your altitude in life. And reading the good books, doing your self-talk, associating with positive people will help you to build the attitude. But you have to check your attitude every day, because remember, the last thing that people can take away from us is our freedom to choose. Choose to be positive every day. It's a choice. And then see the amazing results. The fourth pointer is, if you want to build a big business with structure and a strong business that can take you to PTM, you have to build your business in a simple, duplicatable way. Sometimes we tend to overcomplicate things, but build it in a simple, duplicatable way. Recently, I've given through to the leaders in Kenya, for example, a simple, duplicatable way to take your next steps, to build up to director. We call it the simple, duplicatable director plan 2/100, meaning if you sponsor 2 people every month and everybody keeps on doing 100 personal PV every month, you can get to director in 3 to 4 months' time and sustain it and stay there. And I know along the way, we struggled in the beginning to get the 100 personal PV, but let me tell you, you start using a few products, you develop a few customers, it's easy. A lot of people in the school, their personal PV per month is probably between 200 to 1,000 personal PV in a month. So you can build it up. But keep it simple. Keep it simple. Make sure that when you do anything, when you do a presentation, make sure your downline can copycat what you do. I also given the people in East Africa, I've given them a simple duplicatable tool, how to do a one-on-one presentation. It must be simple. And that's how you duplicate yourself, is through tools. I realized along the way, on our way to PTM, I don't want to be the hero in the business that can do everything and I must do everything for everybody. No, I realized very soon, if you want to build a big business and eventually get residual income, you have to develop leadership. And the way to develop leadership is to have a simple, duplicatable system that people can copycat, that can build their confidence and help them to do what you do. If you do that, you duplicate yourself. And that is very, very powerful. And then the next one, number 5, is attend any event that you qualify for. I told you about that one event that we attended that helped us to really believe and make the decision to go President's Team Member. And sometimes you must go to the most difficult one that will cost you the most, because I guarantee you will get the most out of that event. Currently, for example, your yearly conventions that they now call a summit is currently in Tanzania. Do the effort, pay the price, go there. Go and learn, because I tell you, because you pay a bigger price to go Tanzania, get out of your comfort zone, you're going to grow more than any person in Tanzania, and it will take you leaps and bounds in your business. So be willing to pay that price. We did it all the time. And then the number 6, we discovered along the way the power of weekly training. That's part of the simple duplicatable system. If you don't do regular weekly training with your downlines, teaching them about the product, working through the cycles of the product. Don't only teach about a few products. Start at number A, go right through to number Z, and start again. Teach on the products. Teach people business skills. Recently, I've sent some information to people in East Africa, some leaders, on the subjects that can be covered in that weekly cycle training. But we discovered that is one of the foundational stones if you want to get somewhere and get people around you and have an input in their life, is the weekly training. And the last one I want to say is a very practical thing. Take yourself, before you go to bed at night, a piece of A4 paper and draw out your organization with circles. Put in the names and the pin levels of the people that are really doing the business. I'm not talking about your customers. I'm talking about the people in your organization. Put in the names of the people who are doing something. You will get a wake-up call when you do that, because you will see in front of you how your organization looks like. And then you can start counting and see if every person in your organization will do a minimum of 100 personal points in a month, how much your PV will be. It's very exciting to see. But then it will also help you to focus. You know, I do it all the time. I have here on my wall that you can't see, I have a drawing of my organization. I have a drawing of my nursery that I develop new people. I have a drawing of the leaders in the group and everything. And I look at it all the time. And then I start making contact with the people and I know where to focus. So you have to make sure in a practical way that you are reminded every day how to focus. So put that piece of paper where you can see it every day, that you know where to focus and where to work with your people. Folks, we can talk about a lot of stuff, but I'm going to call it a day on this 7 simple guidelines. This is 7 things that has helped us to build a big business, to build a strong business, and we still keep on focusing on this even today. Doesn't matter what your PIN level are, doesn't matter if you become President's Team Member, because we still have big dreams to take it further and further and further and bigger and bigger. And again, we all start at exactly the same spot. We have to make a decision starting the business. We have to decide to believe that we will do it. And then we have to be open to learn in a simple, duplicatable way to build a future. And you take it step by step, day by day, and it can happen for you. So I tell you, when I look at the people on this group here tonight, I know that each and every one of you, if you're still not a director, you can be a qualified Emerald Director before the end of this year, qualifying 12 out of 12. The World Team members, you can take your next step as a World Team member and keep on following the dream. It is possible, it can happen, and it will happen if you make the decision and you are focused. So I just want to say, I'm proud of all of you that have linked in tonight, that you took the time. It was a privilege to share with my daughter, Madelise, a little bit about our story. And we really give God all the honor for what we have achieved, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here today. So God bless, and thank you very much. And Fred, over to you.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, HANSIE. Thank you so much, Madelise. That was powerful, very, very exciting. And I just want to commend everybody who came on the call today. I know there are several teams represented here. There's Grace Ngatia, the Unstoppable Eagles. There's Lydia Warohu with the Dream Achievers. We have even Patricia Mwangi on the call with her team. We have Jackie Kio. We have people all the way from Uganda, Bumiza and team. And we totally appreciate you guys. We have the Conquerors for logging in and for learning from HANSIE. And it's truly amazing. And HANSIE, what I can tell you is that this team is very serious. We are very serious distributors on the call. There are people who want to make this year the best year ever. They want to step up. They want to become directors. And already we have several directors that have popped up from this team, especially under Grace Ngatia. And it's quite amazing. We have people like Cecilia, who is on the call. There's Nancy, there's Magiri, who became an Emerald Director the other day, which is quite amazing. So the team is serious, and we are going places. And I know that this is our year. And guys, if we can apply the things that we have been taught by our upline, I know we can be able to make it. And one thing that I must mention is that HANSIE, we had the pleasure of hosting your upline, Mike Van Deventer. And one thing he said HANSIE was so hungry about the business. He went full blast and he made things happen. And I said, wow, I think I need to borrow that. And he was saying that you even became a president's team member before him. So I said, wow, I didn't know that. And I was so excited about that. I said, wow, that is the upline that we are a part of his team. And if he has done it, we can also do it. We just need to learn from him. I know you are coming to visit Kenya soon. Is it during the mid-year rally?
Yeah, June with the weekend function. I will be there. Yes.
Yes, he's coming during the weekend function in June, so you'll get to meet him physically. I'm not sure whether the daughter will come, but I know HANSIE is coming, and so that you can be able to meet him and get to know him a little bit more. But otherwise, we are excited, and thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us, with the team. And I know this is the beginning of great things for this team. I know we are going places. I know we'll soon have President's team members popping up from this team. I know with God, all things are possible. So thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for participating. We appreciate you all, and we look forward to growing the business together. Thank you all. Goodbye and good night.
Goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, Madu.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night to you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
This is the host, so she's the one who can end the meeting.